welcome to the Nerdiest Podcast. This is a show we talk about everything nerdy. The usual suspects are back. We're going to jump right into our show. We're going to go into X-Men 97 finale review and discussion. This show was awesome, so we're going to jump right into it. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Wow.
Let's do it.
What's up?
It was a three-parter, right? We had 3 parts over the last 3 weeks. We finally get the payoff. We didn't talk about last week's, where it was the big thing was Magneto kind of just pulls all the metal out of Wolverine, which was nuts. But yeah, what did you guys think of the finale? Did it deliver? This series has been good. I feel like every episode has just been equally as good. Were you disappointed with the finale, or did it hit?
I personally think it hit really hard. Everything with Magneto and Professor Xavier, with them mind duking it out. Like I loved their like just how how they went about that, and just
that was cool.
Yeah, giving you some flashback stuff with that initial meeting that they had that I think they brought up a few times previously. But I just love seeing, Xavier trying to bring him back to his memories and heal him with his mind powers, and then ultimately succeeding, but then at, some kind of a cost that I guess we'll figure out in the second season. But I miss the, seasons where you get a huge cliffhanger and you're just like, oh, I have no idea what's going to happen, and I have to wait a while. But I mean, as a season, it was great. It was cool. And as someone that didn't really watch the original series, it didn't feel like I was completely lost or like, oh, I don't really get this, or it's boring or whatever. But
that's great.
I think it was a great series that, and I think I said this after I watched the first episode, but it feels like you're like how you remember the series, not how the actual original series was.
Right. It's like a better version of what we watched.
Exactly. Yeah. Cause I think if you go back, there's some very cheesy things just in that original series,
just the animation.
It's in the 90s,
but I love what they're doing. I think they are moving towards a bigger, I guess call it 90s Marvel cartoon saga, if you want to. I mean, they've brought in.
There's the Hulk.
They've brought in so many cameos. They had Iron Man, Captain America, Doctor Strange, Cloak and Dagger, Spider-Man, Mary Jane was there too. Black Panther. So and Mr. Fantastic for half a second
to hold on to something. Let me stretch.
But I think they're moving towards something bigger, and hopefully this is them bringing back more of those 90s cartoons that either got canceled or didn't even get a chance. Like the Daredevil thing, they were originally going to make a series, but then I think it was Fox that came in and said, no, we're actually canceling because they were working on the actual movie that was coming out.
Yeah. And you can't have two things.
No, that's just just confusing.
And even to go with that, the animation works so well for this kind of like superheroes comic book stuff. Like the animation just looks really cool, and you can get away with kind of like being minimalist on certain things. Like it doesn't have to look like. I laugh a little bit every time like Jubilee does her thing, because it's like, oh, we'll just put a bunch of sparkles on the screen and you don't really know what's happening, but you get the idea. Like, I just feel like it's really cost effective. It's probably still costs a lot of money, but you can get away with it. Doesn't have to be like super crazy animation. It's just kind of like, it looks cool. And like even with the stuff that Gambit and Wolverine, right?
Yeah.
He just gets on his back and he's like all that kind of stuff just fits really good. Even the shots they had of Daredevil where he's fighting people, I was like, that looks really cool. Like, I'd watch a full, 9 episodes of the Daredevil series. So I just think, like you said, if they're building a bigger universe, I like the animation style they're using. The other thing I like about it is I feel like they're doing like really good storytelling. It's not, I feel like every episode was like important. Maybe not the video game one, but that was like a half episode. But I just feel like they're not afraid to like do good storytelling and take the character seriously. That's the thing that I think is the coolest thing about this is they know it's silly characters when you think about it, but they have weight to them and they take the storylines and the characters seriously. Like people care about these characters and that comes across, right? Like they treat these characters with care. It's not just like everyone makes a joke, you know, like there's real stakes and it feels like more intense than even the Marvel movies because I feel like they take the characters more seriously in this cartoon adaptation than they do in kind of the movie. So I feel like that's why I've really enjoyed this because I'm like, every moment isn't undercut by someone making a one-liner joke, you know? It's like, no, they let you sit in those moments.
Everything's sincere.
Yeah, when Magneto dies, when Gambit dies, it's like you don't have a character being like, making a joke. No, it's like, no, we're going to leave you with that pain and leave you feeling kind of like crap because this is serious kind of thing. It's not like, hey, let's lighten up the mood a little bit because I think they know their audience. Yes, some kids now are going to watch this, but the majority of people that were excited for this show were people that were kids back in the 90s that watched this growing up, and now they're adults, and they want to see those characters like they saw them back then. So I thought it was really awesome. Corey, Josh, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I think as usual, the animation's really good. Like all the fighting looked really cool. I really liked the stuff with Cable and Jean Grey coming back as the Phoenix. I thought that was really cool. And just all the, just all the fighting and stuff. I think the buildup was good. The only thing that I think was the only thing that kind of pulled me out a little bit was I thought the stuff with Mr. Sinister was kind of weird. Like I thought the thing that Jean did to him was cool. That she like took all his like mutant DNA, but
that was the only weird spot of the whole series.
When he ran up and was like, "Show me what do I look like?" Yeah, and he was like, "You don't look much different" or whatever. And he was like, "Ah!" He like ran off.
I got like
crying,
Family Guy like imagery from that. And where's he running to?
Yeah, I don't know. It was very strange.
Yeah, that was the one thing that I was like,
that weird.
Felt weird. Everything in the whole series, like that was the one thing that I was like, that was an interesting choice. But like being surrounded by water, you didn't look down at your reflection.
Right. He needed morph to step.
Didn't he try? He tried, and then the reflection like went away.
Oh,
that's why he went to morph.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Well,
now it's way better.
Yeah, that makes
problem.
You're wrong.
Just him running off was kind of funny. But yeah, other than that, I mean, obviously, Nightcrawler's the best brother Nightcrawler. You know what I'm saying?
My brother.
Quoting scripture.
He's awesome. Yeah, that whole engagement was awkward for me. Just that whole fight, their side of the fight was weird for me. Like, I don't know. Mick, how did you feel about Jean Grey doing the whole Phoenix thing? Like, because you hadn't seen Phoenix before, right?
It was. I don't think I actually watched those episodes. I knew that they went through a whole Phoenix saga with the animated series. It was something that I was expecting. Like, I was okay. There's probably going to be some Phoenix thing at some point. So yeah, it didn't really catch me by surprise.
Yeah, for me, it kind of like was confusing because like I thought that they got rid of Phoenix out of her. I thought that was the whole thing. Maybe I'm wrong. I remember it wrong probably, but I don't know. I was very like, and then the way they kind of like showed her doing the Phoenix thing was very different as well. It was really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was kind of confused by that engagement, and then, they disarmed basically Sinister, and then he was hiding his age, so that was weird, and that whole engagement was weird for me. And I loved Phoenix. It's like one of my favorite parts of that show was that saga with her in space and traveling through space and being just ultra powerful. But I was kind of confused. I was like, I thought we got rid of that. I don't know.
She kind of,
because it was an alien that took over her.
She makes that
line
where she says like, I thought I didn't have it anymore, but I felt it inside.
Yeah.
And then it was
So
brought out by Nathan. So I think it was kind of like you said, they kind of just like wrote it in there to be like, yeah, that's what we're going to do with it.
Yeah. So I don't know. That engagement was awkward for me. There's some cool aspects still. But overall I really liked everything, but that little engagement and then the very, very end. You guys know me, not a huge fan of time travel. Why did it have to be time travel? Yeah, I get why it is. It's such an easy
in
out.
their defense, they've been using time travel throughout, like with
Cable.
Cable.
Oh yeah,
and
Ford. Yeah. Gosh, what's his name? Bishop. Yes.
So I mean,
for sure.
Yeah.
If anyone's allowed to do it, they are. But there's just
Michael J. Fox.
There's just part of me, 100%. But part of me is just like, here we go again, kind of thing. But at least this is a little bit more interesting, and I think, like they did a really good job at being brief, but also introducing you to an interesting character really quickly.
Yeah, I think
and you're like, because I think they did a little bit of this in the original series, where either they went to a different country or a different time frame, but they introduced you to pre mutant, like, oh, maybe this person's a mutant or something, and they're struggling with whatever. So I mean, the seeds have always been there with this series, so it didn't feel super like forced or out of the ordinary.
Well, what I like about it is it's interesting because the group that goes to the past, they're introduced to Apocalypse before he's Apocalypse. And then the group that goes in the future, I assume, is going to be introduced to Apocalypse when he's Apocalypse. Mm-hmm. So that's the thing that I think is interesting. It's like you got two groups that are at opposite sides of the timeline, so that makes it interesting to me as opposed to just like, oh, well, they're all just like they're thrown in different spots, and then you're still going to have some that are still in the present time, because even when you're looking at the rectangle with all the mutants on there, he's like some
he's just drawing a rectangle. So it's like rectangle
are missing, some are missing. It says some are missing.
Oh yeah, like that.
But
off world.
But it says some are off world. But it says some are AWOL. So like they don't know where they are. But so we know that Sunspot, Jubilee, and why can't I think of his name? Nathan. Cable. Like, I assume they're working together to figure out what's going on in the current timeline, whereas the other people are at the ends of time. So I think that's interesting, and I think Apocalypse is cool to be introduced, and the tease that he's got Gambit's card, so he's going to resurrect Gambit, and Gambit's going to become the horseman of Apocalypse. Probably. I mean, that's pretty sick.
Yeah, that's cool.
So that's a cool tease. So yeah, I like that, but I do see, again, it all depends on how they handle it. If they end up handling it just was like, oh, it doesn't make any sense, whatever.
No, but that's what I'm saying. They've already done a lot of this before in this series, so I think if anyone's gonna do it right, it'll be these guys. They have really good like set rules. I remember back in the day, they'd be like, oh, I have to use this transistor to get back, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And Cable was talking about like, oh, I've done this so many years, blah blah blah. Like, I like that kind of aspect of it. But yeah, I mean, I hope that the viewership was really good so that they do follow this and.
Well, they announced the second season.
Oh, did they?
And I think they even have like third and fourth season.
I think they're working on the third season now.
That's crazy.
The only thing that makes me a little worried is the guy, the showrunner, got fired before the season premiered.
Oh, right.
But they haven't said why.
Well, there's rumors that because he was sending nude pictures of himself to people.
But like, regardless of what happened, but that is going to change how it feels and how the storytelling is.
Like to Gambit and Jubilee.
Okay.
I missed this card thing.
It was in the post-credit scene.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I don't watch post-credit scenes, dude.
Oh, that's what I'm talking
scrubbed
about.
through.
Yeah, it's like...
Oh, really?
It
says,
says Genosha current present day, and it's Apocalypse.
Oh, I didn't see that.
It's Apocalypse, and he's like...
He's got the playing card, and it's like...
God, that's why I was like, how do you guys know all this?
I was like, that dude in Egypt definitely didn't have to be playing cards.
I mean, he said... I know, I'm like, I didn't see that. And also, he said his name, so I was... maybe assuming you guys knew that.
Whatever. Maksum.
Whatever. What's his?
I can't remember what his actual name is. Yeah. I prefer the Poe Dameron version.
Here, I'm pulling it up. You guys can watch it.
Oh,
I mean, I'll watch it later, dude.
Okay, we'll watch it later, dude. I believe you. But yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, this series is super excellent.
Yeah, really good.
I haven't heard or seen like any negative things about this.
Yeah,
season.
It's because nobody's watching it.
dude. Every episode was just almost every episode was just a banger.
Yeah.
And just, Jonah's right. Like being serious, letting that marinate, letting this awkward, like super awkward aspect of like having a kid with a clone, and then what do you do about that when the clone goes away and then the real one's there? Like it's like super awkward, like tough situations, and it's like it was cool because it's like they respected us enough as viewers to figure things out and kind of feel what they're feeling. And I don't know, for the past couple years that we've been doing this, I feel like that's what I've been asking for.
Yeah.
Respect us as viewers. Like we can handle it. Like, yeah, you don't have to have everything meant for really little kids. You know, it's awesome because it was created for us adults who grew up with this.
Yeah.
And so it's just super cool to see something actually like, it's kind of like the similar feeling of like Arcane, where I was like, wow, it really like came through and like, it was just excellent all the way across. This is another one of those where it's just, this is super excellent and just, it's hard to critique. Maybe we're biased because we grew up with it, but man, like, I don't know. I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible, but you know, there's not a lot of holes I can punch in it. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, not really. And yeah, I think that's exactly what you're saying. I feel like there's a difference between this and maybe it's also because some of the Marvel products that have come out, like the live action, like Secret Invasion, those have been so disappointing.
It was all on purpose.
That this one just feels
I have
like
one other critique
like
too.
this one's like crazy good.
Yeah.
So and it's and Sabanur is what his name is.
That's the same. The only other thing that I would say is that, you know, we've critiqued in the past. Well, where's Spider-Man? Well, where's this hero? Where's Doctor Strange when all this crazy stuff's happening on Earth? You can say the same thing here. They
He
literally
was still in surgery, dude.
they literally showed all these heroes, and they're even like knowing about it. Why didn't they come? Why didn't they come and interact and help them?
Because he was delivering a baby.
Literally, Doctor Strange could have. I mean, he's Doctor Strange. How does he not just make a little portal, get the baby out, then make another portal and go kill Sinister?
No, because he was looking at all the outcomes. He's like, if I do this, the baby dies. If I do this, the mama dies. He's going through all the things.
Boo to you. I say.
What do you say to that?
That was probably the biggest thing. And if we're going to be consistent, we should be consistent.
That's true.
I think
That's
this
true,
is a
Jonah.
valid.
Right.
I do think the cameos served more as like
Just for
that
fun.
guy.
Yeah.
So
But I think that-
But they're
agree with that.
introduced.
I agree with that. 'cause-
And then Captain America's just like hanging out with the president all the
Yeah,
time.
and
like,
Iron Man.
T'Challa's like, shoot, we shouldn't do this.
but it wasn't T'Challa. It was T'Chaka.
T'Chaka.
Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, people who can't instantly teleport and fly like at supersonic speeds, you're excused.
Yeah, where
Captain
was
America.
Superman?
Well, I
Where was
mean,
Superman?
He was sitting out putting his boots
But,
on.
but Doctor Strange, bro. I mean,
At least Daredevil was
things have
doing
been
stuff.
going on for a
Yeah.
very long time. The meteor was in the sky for so long. Sure, he was delivering a baby or
You don't
doing
want- you
surgery.
don't want to
that's
met
a
with
good
them.
point.
Homie
They were
should've
like,
done
like, guys, there's
Yes.
nothing we can do about
It's-
this. And Doctor Strange
Oh,
is
we
like,
gotta shoot. We
what's
gotta-
going on?
They're like-
Let me
they're like,
deliver this
best
baby.
option
This is really
They're
important.
like, best option is let's murder
That
this
baby's
dude.
dead, by the way, if that meteor hits Earth. Okay?
Right.
So, priorities, guys.
Wow.
I rest my case. I give it a 4.
I was going to give this a 9.8.
Yeah.
Now it's a 7.2.
Oh!
Typical Marvel trash.
No, kudos to them. They did a really good
Yeah.
job. We're just we're joking around, but I mean, I give this
We're
probably
just
over.
joshing.
I put this over a 9, probably. I
Well,
think
let's do it. Let's do it right now.
I think I give it a
Let's
9-2.
do it Right. 9.2 for Sea Dog.
Yeah,
9.2 for
The whole season?
it's whole series.
Yes,
Yeah, whole
yes,
season. Whole
yes.
season.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident. 9-1, 9-2, somewhere there, but it definitely clears a 9 for me.
9.2. I'm putting you down with a 9.2.
I hope I'm not. I try to be as unbiased as possible, but
You're right, though. It's really hard
excellent.
to
It's hard. Those are the biggest
Yeah.
things that I just said. Like those are that was it.
freaking Doctor Strange.
There's one episode that was not great.
And it was half an episode.
Yeah.
But it was a half
like a
episode.
10,
You're
12
right.
episode.
You're right. Compared to what we've been seeing in the past like 6 years, this is excellent. Grade.
What do you got, Josh?
I'll get a 9.5.
A 9.5.
Yeah,
That's almost a perfect score.
that's really close.
It's too bad.
0.5.
What you got?
I was also going to give it a 9.5.
Wow,
what a score! What a score!
Yeah.
Jonah's
That's crazy.
Jonah's gonna give it a 10 out of 10.
That's crazy because he doesn't even have as much nostalgia bias,
That's good,
from
bro.
growing
That's
up with
good.
it.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah,
That speaks volumes.
I think if I did, I probably would give it a 10.
10 out of 10.
Yeah,
I bet
but
you would.
That's that
You know,
0.5.
I was going to give it a 9.3, but then you mentioned all those things that bothered me about where were those guys. I'm giving it a 9.0.
Okay, 9 flat. All right. Hey, that's still so good. That is amazing.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it to be this good. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, no.
It was just like,
That's so-
hopefully it's
I
good.
had
Light-
extremely low expectations.
Really?
Yeah. Very low
Like,
expectations.
wow, that team did really great work. Lightning in a bottle, boys.
Yeah, hopefully the next
That's great.
season is good. And then I hope they
Hopefully. Losing that
take
one
this
guy.
formula and do it with a live action. That's
Well,
especially one of the things that I watched a video today where the guy's like, the one thing you need to do with live action is he's like, this is the Cyclops that you need in live action. Like, understand that Cyclops is awesome. He's like, Cyclops has taken the backseat to Wolverine. Like in the live action movies, is more like, hey, I'm in love with you. You know, like I was like, the fact that Cyclops is the leader of the X-Men, like they do such a good job. It reminded me, it took me back in time, bro.
okay.
We used to watch that show at your house,
Okay.
and you had an X-Men,
A Cyclops.
a Cyclops with the back, you do the black in his,
like,
and he was my favorite character. I loved him. And then the movies came out. I was like, Gambit's better, Wolverine, whatever. Like that focus on that. It's like Cyclops is the OG X-Men that everyone loved. So that's what they got to remember when they do the live action.
Yeah, I remember
Henry
this.
Cavill for Cyclops.
I love that moment, speaking of Cyclops, when he's talking with Wolverine, when he's still, out of it. I loved when he was saying, like, don't disappoint Jean. Like, acknowledging that Jean does love Logan in some way or another.
Yeah.
Like, that in the movies, that never would have happened. He would,
And the other one that was amazing was when they go in front of Cable, right? When she makes the
that's
apparition, and he takes off his glasses,
his eyes,
right?
yeah.
And he sees his eyes. That moment was so good.
Yeah.
And
That's cool.
And that to me just felt like this is serious stuff. And they like I said, they take it seriously. I know it's a ridiculous cartoon and ridiculous characters and all this stuff, but it's genuine and heartfelt in those moments. And some people might concern like, oh, it's going to be corny. But I was like, no, that is exactly what you want. Like a heartfelt moment, just where he even says like, the stories about my folks where they really like undersold the story. Like that whole conversation was so good. And then the final shot of hit Nathan's eyes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that was just so good. And I'm like, that's the Cyclops. And then it goes back to that shot where he just rips off the thing and he's just going crazy. He's shooting it. Like that is like, that's what we want in the live action. Don't be afraid to give us that. Don't give us the typical formula where it's just jokes. You get a joke, you get a joke, you get a joke. No, give us some heartfelt. Let us sit in the tragedy of the X-Men because the X-Men are tragic figures. That's what they are. Like at the end of the day, like even the Magneto and Charles Xavier stuff, what I loved is in their conversations when Magneto starts talking about the Holocaust and making allusions to the Germans and the Nazis and all that kind of stuff and his people being killed. That stuff is dark, and they weren't afraid to go there. They don't go into detail, but when they make those allusions, you know exactly what he's talking about, and it just deepens the character because of the tragedy of it, and it makes you understand why Magneto does the things he does.
Yeah, and believes the things
And it's
that
not trying to make him an anti-hero to be like, oh, make him likable. It's like, no, he's not really likable. You just understand why he thinks the way he does because of what he went through. That's what they need to do in the live action.
One, it's like,
and Henry Cavill.
well, I think the story of like mutants being hated and persecuted, and this is really cool, like dynamic of being like a hero for people that hate you, or at least the outspoken minority or whatever hate you for it. And it's like such a cool, duality, I guess, with the X-Men. I know we're getting really deep into it, but I don't know. There's a lot of really cool aspects of X-Men that just hasn't been explored in live action. I do worry about some things that just won't transfer as well, but seriousness and maybe a human face acting in those serious matters might be better in a lot of cases if you have the right person doing it and the right dialogue. But it's got to be said, the action scenes are so much easier to do in animation, and it looks way sick.
Yeah.
When you get CGI and stuff like that, it can sometimes be wonky and stuff like that. And so there's a little bit
because Marvel will just do it like on an airport tarmac or something, just gray
beige background.
You'll be like, wow, this looks not as cool.
Yeah. But there's so much flavor and character in the animation that I don't think this would work 10 years ago. I think this works now for a reason. And I think that I bet they might get a little tempted to maybe do like spin-offs or like an Iron Man show or
That'd be cool.
Captain America or something like that in that style. I mean, there's a reason why they're showing all these guys.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. Like,
I think they're probably actually moving
Samurai
towards
guy.
a Avengers versus X-Men. I think they're going to go that route.
yeah, that'd be cool.
The best line in the whole show was like, "What did you expect? Black leather?" I was like,
They did the reverse.
Sick callback.
Yeah. That's going to do it for our discussion on X-Men 97. Let us know what you thought in the comments below. If you haven't watched it,
What a good one.
we highly recommend you watch the series. It's really good. You don't have to go and watch the old series.
Nope.
You're good enough just
I'm
watching.
proof of that.
And even after
it's so good.
spoiling it, like, you're good. It's still really good.
It's really good. We're going to talk really quickly about Tales of the Empire. Mick hasn't gotten to see it. Corey's watched
like
most
70,
of it.
80%.
Josh and I have watched it, so we're just going to talk about it in general. Josh and I and Corey will probably give our scores of what we thought. This was not as good as Tales of the Jedi for me.
I agree.
I thought there was a lot of potential.
Yeah.
I really liked the Morgan Elsbeth episodes with showing her character and her Thrawn and all that kind of stuff. The Night Sisters, I thought that was the stronger arc than the Barriss one, which I'm shocked because I was like, oh, we're finally going to see what happened to Barriss.
I mean, okay.
And so to me, I enjoyed more the Morgan Elsbeth stuff than I did the Barriss stuff.
That's
you guys are looking at me like I'm crazy.
You crazy, son.
That's just I wonder why. I guess we can get into it, but yeah, that is interesting. I like the Bear stuff.
I thought the Morgan Elsbeth stuff was better developed than the Barriss stuff because I feel like the Barriss stuff happened too quick, especially knowing the character that she's like the Jedi are bad. She did all terrible things, and then
she flipped.
I just felt like just
really
like
quick.
that. She was like, I don't like this. That to me, it's partly because the episodes are so short, but I just feel like that turn was too quick for me. That it made me, I don't know. The other one felt like it fit with like the trajectory and all that stuff. And I'm also pulling in stuff that I know from Rebels and Ahsoka. So it feels like the Barriss Offee stuff was just kind of like too quick for me.
Yeah, so for me, I thought the Morgan Elsbeth stuff was like, that was cool, but I didn't think it wasn't necessary. I would have rather had give me 6 episodes of Barriss Offee.
That would have worked.
Because I thought the Barriss Offee stuff was more interesting. I just
and they would
liked
have had more time to do stuff instead for it being rushed. And I agree, it was rushed.
I just like the stuff more of like,
Yes.
this is what the Inquisitors are doing.
Yeah.
This is how they're setting people up. They're like, well, you either kill each other or we're just going to kill both of you.
I love
you
that
know what I mean?
aspect, yeah.
That's like, I would love to watch an Inquisitor show. Just like specifically,
I think
let's
it'd be
just
super
follow
fun.
Inquisitors around.
Meet the Inquisitor.
Exactly. So I think I actually like the stuff with Barriss where she's like her journey. You can say it was quick.
Yeah, and you're right.
Which is it was, and it's because the episodes are 12 minutes a piece. But I like the story better on that second half than the first 3 for me.
Yeah, it's almost like I guess it's a little unfair to judge this way, but I almost like the potential more than Elsbeth's. But I also just don't like Elsbeth as a character, so I kind of was already turned off from that. and it was like we could have done other characters instead of her.
Like Grievous. Just give me 3 episodes of Grievous.
I'll say this: if I were just watching like just the first episode of each storyline, they're like 9s. Like just the first episode, like awesome openings to each one of those. But then as it went on, it kind of just wasn't exciting. It kind of tapered off for me. It just kind of lost its quality as it went on. So for me, it's just it kind of averaged around like pretty good, but it was okay. Yeah. There was like no Darth Vader either. I was like, well, where's Darth Vader? He was like clickbait. He was just like there to just get people there.
I think you guys are right. You guys are probably right. If you do 6 episodes of Barris, it fits better. Like I said, to me, it just felt like the Morgan Elsbeth stuff. Maybe I was more interested in it than you guys were, but there was that element of like, oh, how does she connect to Thrawn? Because that was never explained. So that kind of stuff I was interested in, even how she took over the town and all that kind of stuff to introduce us to how when Ahsoka shows up there. So I thought there was really cool connective stuff, even the fact that, Bo-Katan at the end, they're calling her for help. Like that whole idea, I just thought that fit really well. The Barasafi stuff, I was a little disappointed in. I don't know why, but it just felt like I was expecting more. Okay. I thought there was the cool aspect of her, like the healing person, like that she's the healer and she's aged a ton because she's using her, like giving her own life force, which is something we saw with Rey. I don't know if there's a connection there. They kind of left it, sorry, spoilers, but they kind of leave it up in the air of what really happens to them. Yeah. So that was kind of interesting. But again, the animation was cool. I thought the stories were pretty good, but it didn't connect like Tales of the Jedi.
Well, there's a lot of like dead end stuff, and I think that's kind of a big reason why I didn't like the Elsbeth stuff. I'm just like, I know she dies. Yeah. I mean,
yeah, that's true. That's
true.
Know,
it just takes. I mean, it's not like Grievous. Like, oh, he has so much potential. It's like, but that was just cool stuff.
Yeah.
But with her, I'm just like, there's nothing that cool.
It did. So my thought on that.
Okay.
It made her character for me more tragic.
Okay.
Because
sure,
you're kind of getting a backstory to what happened to her. Like the Empire comes in and just murders everybody.
She got outed like a punk in the Ahsoka series.
I know, but that's what I'm saying.
So kind of like
that's what I'm saying. That's like, why I feel a little bad for her. Like she's tragic. Like she's done all these things. Like even for like
she was like nothing special.
Her whole family gets destroyed. She gets killed. She then gets recruited by Thrawn. She's trying to help the Empire. The Empire screws her over. She goes to this town to kind of help them out. Like this, all this stuff happens. Yeah. She then goes to this other galaxy basically, and these Night Sisters basically use her to be like, hey, we're gonna go back to Dathomir. So it just to me it made that character be sympathetic, even though like you don't like her, but I'm like, oh, she's a tragic story, like just being used by the dark side. That's what they've done. Like that's what Sidious has always done.
Sure.
And that's where that character kind of becomes a little more interesting to me, is the aspect of like, you got screwed over from the beginning, and it's really no fault of your own. You were a girl raised in this. The Grievous comes in and just starts murdering you all. So that's where that story was interesting to me.
Yeah. No, I get it. Yeah, I think it's just a preference.
Yeah.
Really for me. I just like the theme and what was going on there with Barris.
Yeah. And I think it's worth watching. Like,
oh, yeah. I think it's so good.
I think the animation is really good.
Yeah.
I think the music is they're doing such a good job with like the music in Star Wars animation. And I just think it enriches these stories still enrich like characters, like whether it's live action or movies or whatever. I think it just builds more backstory to those things that is always good. Do you guys want to rate it on your... What do you think, Josh?
I think it's just solid 8 for me. Maybe like 8.3. Okay. I'll say 8.3.
I think it's really good.
It's really good. The animation's great. The music's great. You get to learn more about some characters that we've wanted to know about. I think for me, just Tales of the Jedi was, I thought, amazing. Yeah, really. And it was like, I think it scratched that itch of like Dooku. Like I want to know what, like, that was so sick. It was just more interesting for me at least, and I thought it was better done. But it's still really good. And I want to see what I want to see is like Tales of the Dark Side. We can go back and do like
Tales
Old
of the
Republic, Sith.
Tales of the Sith.
Yeah, different things. And I want to see older stuff.
Tales of Han Solo.
Yeah. Tales of Jabba's Palace.
Corey, what do you think?
I think I'm in the 7s. I'm probably like a 7-4, and that's just because I think some episodes are really good, but then they kind of fall off as they go on. So yeah, that's my general take on it.
I'd give it an 8.2. I'm
Okay.
right there with you. I think not as good
An
as
8.2 or an 8 as well?
8.2. 8.2.
Okay, cool.
So yeah. Real quick before we go, we want to just give a quick rating of we watched Kingdom of the Planet of the
No,
Apes.
not real quick. Come on, guys. This is your favorite
it's
movie.
It's gonna be
real
quick.
quick because you guys didn't watch it.
No
so we
spoilers.
can't, we don't want to spoil it. We're just going to talk in generalities.
I'm gonna
Josh and I.
I'm gonna watch this.
Josh and I
I
went
supposed to watch
the
this?
early screening,
Yep.
so we got to watch it before all y'all. This movie made 120 something opening weekend worldwide. It's a budget of 160, so I mean it almost made back its budget. So that's what I'm talking about. This movie was really good. I really enjoyed it. If you haven't seen the Apes trilogy before that just came out with the Matt Reeves and those movies are great. The Caesar trilogy. This movie, I was a little concerned when Disney took over, but this movie looks awesome. The fact that it is not a $200 million movie and it looks incredible just shows me
That's
like what are they spending money on? Weta does an amazing job. The apes look real. The eagles look so good. The ape eagles, like Eagle Clan, was awesome.
There's
concept.
not ape eagles,
They're
just in
hybrids?
case. Yeah,
No,
they're like
they capture the eggs and they like grow them like
Wizard of Oz.
they're like their dogs basically. It's so cool. It's just a cool concept. The music was
You said
great.
a lot of things right there.
The story was, I enjoyed it. This movie was a lot of fun. I went ape for the apes.
Gosh, dang it.
One of the coolest things about this though is that I loved what the director did, cinematography, how it looked, and he's doing the Zelda live action.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of things that I was like, that would look perfect in a Zelda movie.
Yeah,
that ape will look really good in Zelda.
No, like
Just remove his hair and make him look like stone.
I was like, you do this for Kakariko Village.
Yeah, there's really
good.
cool like world building character stuff that you're like, this would be cool. I'm excited for that. I really enjoyed it. It's really good. All the new characters are really interesting, and I like the new actors. Like, it's a pretty long movie, but it didn't feel long at all.
Ape movie.
But yeah, that's really good. If you like the Apes movies, definitely check it out.
Yeah, I would second that. And Corey, I know you're not a big fan, but I think it's I think you'd like this. There's a shot.
I've watched many a ape, and I enjoy them, but they're not like 8s. They're like 7s.
Oh, see, that's what we differ.
That's where you're wrong. That's where you're wrong, my friend.
Okay,
I'm wrong about my opinion.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yes, sir.
That's crazy.
There's a part in this that
Tell me.
ruin
it.
No, I'm not telling you.
Oh.
There's something sad happens.
Okay.
And I'm looking at the
Look, bud,
IMAX.
I'll
I'm
watch
looking
it.
at the IMAX screen.
I'm not going
and
to
I'm
IMAX.
seeing this ape cry, and I'm just like, why?
Why am I so sad?
Why do I? Yeah, exactly. It's
That's
absolutely incredible.
I was like, it's almost like we came from them, you know?
It's incredible. It was the way the character moved, the music hit, how they did it. It was so good, and I was like, this is one of the best scenes. Emotional scenes that I've seen in a long time.
It's good, dude.
And it's
good.
two
It's monkeys.
It's 2 apes.
Bro,
it's so good.
Dude, you're talking to the guy who loves anime. It's literally lines on paper. Dude.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It was really good. The apes on horses with the masks reminded me of orcs from Lord of the Rings.
Now,
it looked really cool.
Okay.
To me, just the aesthetic of it, how it looked, I was like, this looks really good. The story got me invested. I wanted to know more. So yeah, to me, as a big Apes fan,
and let me clarify my official opinion on the apes. They're not the ones that I've seen. So I've seen a multitude. I've seen like the first like 4 or 5 or whatever.
The old ones.
The old ones.
Okay.
First one, groundbreaking, super crazy mentally. Like it blew people's minds. Right.
Right.
And imagine being back then watching it when it came out, like first. When you see when you see like the Statue of Liberty, oof, crazy,
absolutely, one of the biggest
groundbreaking
in history.
But here's where you lose me is as they went on, they started getting these crazy movies of like the universe, the apes and the I don't know.
Time
there was like a jailbreak one. There was like a jail one.
Okay, well here's the thing with those.
It was ridiculous.
Those started becoming money grabs. Like as they go on, the quality lessons. Have you watched the new trilogy?
It doesn't mean they don't exist.
Yeah, I know, but have you watched the new trilogy?
No.
New one's good. Dude.
I think
new one's good.
That's cool. I can do that.
Yeah,
maybe we'll watch it
I'm
together.
just saying, my only experience is when I was at your guys' house and we'd watch those. That's it. And they weren't great.
Yeah, okay.
Let's be honest.
We'll have to watch the new trilogy. It gives us an excuse to hang out.
Oh, you want to watch it with me?
Yeah, I'll watch it with
All
you.
right.
They're so good.
They're good. They're real good.
By the way, Bree hates the Apes movies. She doesn't like the monkeys.
Not the new ones.
She doesn't like them.
What about the new ones? She hasn't seen
I don't know.
them?
I don't know. She
We'll watch
might
with
have.
her too.
You think she watched the original ones? No.
If you're listening to this right now, we're gonna watch.
She doesn't listen.
She's not.
The Caesar trilogy.
I was just saying, she doesn't listen to this crap.
Anyways, Josh,
Sorry.
what do you give? What do you give the Apes?
I give the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes an 8-8.
8.
8. What? Be a man. Put it at a 9, dude.
Nah.
I'm giving it.
You guys cried when two monkeys were crying.
9.4.
Crystal said it was her favorite Apes movie.
I loved it.
What'd she rate it? A 10?
9.4. And this gets me super excited for the Zelda live action.
Yeah.
That was one of the big things. I was like going into this, I'm like, okay, let's see what he's got. And I'm really excited for what he's going to do with Zelda. So,
and
when Donkey Kong shows up in the Zelda movie, it's
is
going
there
to
be another Apes movie after this, or
it's set up for it.
Okay. They said the plan is 9.
What?
Is when they set out counting the 3.
Oh, the original.
That's
so there's 6 more.
Yeah. No, 5 more. Because this will be the 4.
Yeah.
I mean, that's also part of it. Is I'm tired just even looking at it. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know if they're going to get to the 9, but
it's just like 8.
And I could be wrong. Maybe it's 7.
Well, what there's anyway.
It's like,
dude,
the apes are the rulers of the world. Okay, the next movie. Oh no, the humans are slightly evolved, and now it's like they're smarter now. And then the third one's like, oh, now the humans are the rulers, and that's the same crap every time. That's all the apes movies are, bruh.
We gotta watch the Caesar trilogy. It's a little different.
It starts out with
it better be a lot of different. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro.
Man, there's some moments in those that I get chilled with how good it is.
I'm gonna go apes.
That's gonna do it for this week's episode. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. You can find us on Instagram, on Facebook, on X, on Twitter, on YouTube. Wow, Corey does a great job with those videos.
I just thanks, Corey.
We're so glad that you can hang out with us, and we'll be back next time with more Nerd Age. See you later. Bye.
Chill.